Hello and welcome to Pretty Privilege. I'm Tenemane, and today's topic I'm going to be talking about my 1 year celibacy celebration. I'm really happy, excited, and all around blessed and very thankful to be able to share my story and thoughts as to why I decided on becoming celibate a year ago. So without further ado, let's get into today's audio video. Why I decided to go celibate and what made me want to put my vagina on strike. This happened the summer of last year, and the person I was last intimate with, the sperm donor, is who I'm going to refer to him as. But our whole existence was toxicity and drainage. I was done being degraded for, and for so long I continued to have sex with him because I truly thought he loved me, and I thought that he wanted to marry me. I kept having sex with him because the sperm donor and I were having a child together. And even after our daughter was born, I believed if that's what I gave him whenever he wanted it and needed it, then he wouldn't have to go elsewhere for it. I kept having sex with him because I equated sex to top priority demands in a relationship. I thought that my pussy game was so hypnotic and magical, you guys, and all the tricks and splits and gymnastics moves I did in bed, in the car, out in public, was enough to make him be faithful to me and to me only. I decided to go celibate when I knew the problem was both of us. I knew he had his own problems, and I was trying to be the solution to them all. And I knew I had my own problems, to which I was hoping he would be the solution to them all. I couldn't keep doing what I was doing anymore. And I couldn't keep giving all my energy to him when in return the exchange was overdraft. There was nothing in reciprocation. I couldn't mentally, physically, energetically, spiritually, and with everything, I could not emotionally keep investing in someone who only knew how to take, because I was the one who kept allowing it. At the time, I knew no better, and I surpassed every major red flag that was laid out in front of me. All the red flags I didn't care about because I made excuses as to why they were there, and I kept trying to fix them. Red flags didn't matter to me. And looking back, it's funny, but in the moment, I was really, truly spiraling. And I decided to go celibate because not only did I choose this for myself, but I needed for my daughter to see what it looked like to be raised by a mother who knows her worth. I had to go cold turkey. I had to choose this route. I told myself, Tenemane, if you continue this path of no self-love, no mindfulness, and zero faith within yourself, you're also creating a world of trauma and limitless amount of issues for your child to grow up in. Don't do it. Don't be that person. That person who's been draining you, don't let them do it anymore. It stops here. I went celibate for her because I wanted for her to see what a healthy representation of a mother looks like and what it feels like when you have a mother who's present, who's able-bodied, who's happy, versus and in comparison to a mother who's overstressed, degrades herself just to have somebody, want to love her, who's a people pleaser. It's like there's a complete difference in those two different types of females, of mothers, and I had to be the one who was going to be healthy, who was going to be positive and a light for a child to grow up in. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I went celibate, and after the last time I had sex with the sperm donor, I cried, but I promised myself to not ever make me feel that way again. I was the one who had to change. I do not allow or condone that type of icky behavior, and I won't accept it from anyone because I now know better. But unfortunately, it took me being degraded and literally tossed around to realize my worth. All the change and abuse that I was taking was because I wasn't standing up for myself and I was allowing for someone to run me. And like I said, I didn't know any better at the time, and I was at my peak of hurt, which is why when that light bulb went off in my head, I had to cut sex out from my life. I went celibate because my body count in total is 19. 1-9. You guys don't judge me. This is a safe space here, but I couldn't keep doing that for myself. I had to put my vagina on strike from my own mistakes and stupidity, from my delusional beliefs of thinking sex equivalated to romance and love. My vagina said, if it could talk, it said, Tenemane, stop abusing me like this or I'm going to get sick. Meaning sicker than what I would be capable of doing to make it better. And though our bodies can't talk to us, orally, it communicates to us if something is wrong. When you think about it, when we're not feeling well or if we have a fever, our stomach is turning, it says, hey, something is the matter in this part of your body. Get help. Don't ignore this message, right? I felt like my vagina and my whole anatomy, my whole body, my female organs, my soul, all of it, it needed healing, rest, and recovery. Today, I'm celebrating 1 year of celibacy because I chose this route and I decided to do better for myself, for my child, for both of us. Next question is, how much longer until I have sex again? With where I'm at, you guys, if there's no ring on my finger and you know what I'm talking about, I'm not laying down with you. I'm not acting as wife to someone who won't commit wholeheartedly to me. And I have no reason to put out or to fulfill anyone's sexual desires for any monetary amount. I was a stripper before, and that allowed me to get caught up in the lifestyle to where it became so easy to sell my pussy for money. And in my body count number of 19, 5 of those guys was because I prostituted myself just for quick cash. And I'm not going back to that. However long the amount of time until I have sex again, it really doesn't matter to me. If someone loves me for me and is accepting of the fact I have a child and we get married, we're a happy family, then okay, great. But I'm not fiending for sex. I'm not going out looking for it or just throwing myself out there to guys. And no, I'm not doing any of that. And I don't have an emptiness to fill, which I had once before. What happens when I get the urge for sex? I've personally taken this time to learn more about pleasuring myself and to find out what my body loves and reacts to, and being able to pleasure myself without the need or validation from someone else is beautiful because I've found comfort and confidence and an increased level of vulnerability towards my own soul. It's really fun for me to go out and buy toys I want to try and to experiment with them and trying like natural oils. It's all beneficial because it's what arouses me. And the fact I'm experimenting on myself, it feels really magical. In the past, I wanted for someone else to figure me out, but ever since going celibate, I've been able to channel that energy back into learning more about me and my own personal desires. And honestly, when I get the feeling for sex, I also enjoy reading and watching videos about the female and male anatomy, which interests me because though we're different, I just love to stay educated about mental, spiritual, and physical arousals with both of the sexes, male and female. The masculine energy, in particular, because their whole biological system and their mental wiring is different from ours, but also because, it really never hurts to be educated about it. I feel I can control my horniness pretty well, and I utilize my masturbating calendar, which I write down how many times in a month I masturbate and what arouses me in that session or in that amount of time I was doing it for. Whenever I get the feeling, if I see or feel something that triggers an arousal, a hot, steamy desire for me to touch myself, I'll masturbate with no hesitation. And, I also think that it's healthy for everyone to masturbate, but to know your own self as well and not to depend on someone to get you off. And the last question is, how has my views changed towards sex a year ago in comparison to today? Sex is sacred. Sex is an energetic currency that has to be cared, loved, and cherished. I mean, when you think about it, there are reasons as to why people would wait till marriage to have sex. Sex is beautiful when both parties consent to it and are in love with one another. If not, the whole exchange of it, the topic of it, and even the word itself, it can be really icky. My views towards sex a year ago in comparison to today has changed because sex should never be a priority in a relationship. I don't care what anyone says. If someone wants or forces you to have sex with them or makes you feel guilty that you're not doing so, you need to run. That person isn't healthy in all ways possible, and you don't need them to drain from you. A year ago, I thought that having sex with someone meant that they loved you. And when I was prostituting, I was too hurt and too blind and numb to realize the fact that I was exchanging energetic currency with someone who only wanted one thing from me. And believe me, it was never to make me feel loved. It was never that. It made me view sex as dangerous from a certain perspective because when someone only wants to harvest from you, when they want to reap of your benefits, of your strength, when they want to control you, and when they want to determine how your actions can or cannot be, not only is that person toxic, but now that person has left you with a percentage of their spirit that attracts negative energy and disease for internal hurt. They transfer that energy to you and within your spirit. And whether you resonate, with the masculine or the feminine, when your energy is being drained from someone who only cares about themselves, has no bone in their body to care for you or even about you, and who only wants power in return, money or clout in return, that sexual energetic exchange becomes dangerous. And take it from me, just be careful who you decide to lay down with. I've learned that sexual arousal and stimulation that I get from someone should always be mental and spiritual first. This is important, I feel like, because what's on the inside should matter most of all. It's a day one lesson we've all heard before, but some of us, like myself, choose to ignore it. But it's the truth. The inside of a person is what's important. It's not the size. It shouldn't have anything to do with like the exterior. But I know that a lot of times, like me, I've made it only be so. You could say I've learned a lot in only 1 year, and it seemed to have gone by quick, and yet there were days it seemed longer. But nevertheless, I'm really happy about my changed views towards sex and being able to celebrate today and being able to share it with you guys. Me being and going celibate has been such an amazing journey, and in everything it is that I've learned from and have healed from, I felt that the biggest takeaway that I got from celibacy is learning about my own self-worth and to not ever, to not ever have to stoop so low to go down to anyone else's lower vibrations and their frequencies. I'm, very glad that I've gone celibate, and like I said, it also changed my whole dynamics and way that I was and how I have been with my daughter, because I feel that I have so much more channeled energy that has become positive and happy and loving, that goes much more into her, that goes into me. And it's all around just a whole spiritual experience that I'm glad that, I can't believe I'm celebrating 1 year now. I hope that you guys all enjoyed this audio video here on Pretty Privilege about my 1 year celibacy celebration. These are all my own thoughts and opinions about sex and some questions I had to ask myself during my time of healing and recovery. And like I said, this is a safe space for us all. No judgment, comments are turned off. But I just wanted to share a little bit about my celibacy journey. And to celebrate, I brought myself a strawberry cake from this bakery here in North Texas and vanilla ice cream I'm going to be eating later on while watching a movie. I'm not sure what movie I want to watch, but we'll see. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much. I'm Tenamane, and thank you for listening here on Pretty Privilege. Aloha.